Hi, you guys. Today is the 4th of October, 2021, and I'm being drawn. I wanted to read on how Gabby Petito, how her spirit feels about this things going on right now, and if she has a message for Brian. I also want to look at, there was a question a viewer asked, and I think it's one that a lot of us would like to better understand, is how Brian's parents feel about Gabby, with this. So I will look at that question too. Let me just write that down so I don't forget, because I can get going and it's very easy to get sidetracked. So how did they feel about her? But I really want to see how Gabby's feeling. Gabby does not have a voice except for her parents right now. So I'm just going to focus on Gabby and what her message to Brian is, if she has one. Okay, so I'm going to pause this and I'm going to shuffle really well, and then I'll lay down the cards. So I'm saying, what does Gabby Petito want to share, if she does at all? We'll see whether she is interested or not, definitely, with the cards that come out. But is there a message, I'm asking, that she wants Brian to know? Is there something she would like to say? What would that message be? And I'm just going to turn the cards over to her and let her, through spirit and her spiritual mentors and mine and the Creator, let her express herself. Okay, so Gabby Petito, she's a Pisces, and it looks like she might have an Aries moon from what I've been able to gather. Okay. Gabby Petito, do you have a message you want to share concerning Brian, or with regard to Brian? Same thing. For Brian. What would Gabby like to say? I'm using the Illusory deck. You can get it on Etsy. Okay, she's bringing up the poor state of mind, possibly also physical health, but I think definitely mental. And worried about, I think also, because this is Pentacles, these are earth things to do with the body, material world. He's definitely also concerned for his future, for his well-being. She's bringing that up just with this one card. The King of Wands, Creator, crossing him. This is a challenge. Oh my goodness, I think this is, I want to say that this is Dog. It even looks like him, the bounty hunter. I always associate him with that kind of a lion face. He really does look like this card. I wonder if he's a fire sign. I'll have to check it out. Doesn't matter, though. I think she's wanting to speak to that because it's the King of Wands and about him being worried. I think about him finding him. I think she's bringing that up. Let's see what else we get. Yes, this is about, facing consequences for your actions. No matter if they're good or bad or indifferent, there are consequences. And this is a message based on telling him, I think, to just face the consequences of what he's done, that this is unnecessary for him to be, it's making things worse. That's what I feel like she's telling me. Us. Okay? So, the Knight of Cups. And she's talking about trust. So, there's trust here. I'm opening the skylights if you hear a little noise in the background. And this to me is her identifying, I think, both of them potentially with this card because they are both water signs and they were both young adults. She's showing an issue of trust. A lack of trust. Or trust. Maybe she's trying to say, she's definitely, the message is definitely, I feel like she is definitely addressing him. Because I feel like this is him. And she's also talking about the emotional state. And I think she's trying to say also that she trusted him. And he needs to face up and deal with the consequences now, because really, what else are you, what is the only way this is going to end? And I don't think he's going to take his own life. I think he'll think about it. And I certainly hope he does not. That doesn't help anything. In fact, that would just be being, the ultimate selfishness. And I don't believe that normally that committing suicide is selfish. I don't. But I think that if you're somebody that's hurt someone and done something like this, and you're just trying to avoid consequences, then it absolutely is a cowardly thing to do. So I just want to make that clear. Okay? I really feel that she's saying that Dog the Bounty Hunter does really wind him up and is making him worried. He does not want to be seen on... It's very humiliating for Brian, and Brian is a very private person. I think it was one of the things... Here he's the King of Cups. This can also be Brian. And I think this is actually her, because she was younger. See, sometimes it really matters to get work in. It's almost like weaving to me. We're weaving in, and then with the picture, how it feels and what it says. I really liken it to weaving. These threads, each card. And she's talking about the authorities. She's talking about father figures with the Emperor here, but really the focus of authorities. This is what's really, she's addressing that, you know, I trusted you, okay? You need to own up for what you did. This is not, you're not going to get out of this, okay? She's acknowledging that there are active, very active pursuit of him, okay? And I believe this is actually Dog the Bounty Hunter. As I've said, it looks like him even. And I'll once again pick up so you can see. All right? So he's feeling that. He's feeling definitely the focus of Dog the Bounty Hunter on him. And this has him worried. And it should, because, you know, Dog does his job pretty darn well from what I understand. And she's saying with the tower, with it breaking, you know, this is what's done has happened, and you cannot take it back. And the only way forward is to move forward, acknowledge what happened, and try to deal with your life and manage your life the best you can. I think she's definitely showing that she's very aware of what he's thinking. She definitely has a message for him. And definitely that they're only going to focus and get closer and closer. I think she's saying you should just turn yourself in. This is silly. This is making things worse, making things harder for her parents, everyone. Just, you're not going to win this. You're not going to get away with this. You have to face up like a man for what happened. And you've made things worse. This would also indicate with the tower that she's saying that something, whatever happened very, very quickly to her. And she was not expecting it because she trusted him. And she does not like, of course, does not like what he's doing because it's making things just heartbreaking for her, even more heartbreaking for her parents than this has to be, which is bad. In the environment, she's showing the Queen of Swords. I think this is his mother. I keep getting the Queen of Swords, and I keep feeling like this is his mom. I do. Helping him. And this could also be his father. And this can definitely be Dog the Bounty Hunter coming to his mom and dad's house, or trying to talk to his parents. Maybe he's going to end up talking to his dad. I don't know. Maybe that's what Gabby's saying here. But she's bringing up the Queen of Swords, and I believe she's talking about his mother. I definitely think she's bringing in your mother. Is not giving you good advice. She's doing things for you. And you're not feeling well. You know, this is not making things better, it's making things worse. Definitely the message. This is the fight. She's acknowledging in the hopes and fears area of physical altercations. I think she really did fear him and lived, she's saying, in fear of, and I know what that's like to have somebody that you're in a relationship with be unstable. And this is violence. And this can be, I think it was, with their relationship, it almost feels like, I hate the words, but I'm getting the words casual violence, that it was almost like casual in that relationship to some degree. They were, but had gotten really toxic. And I think for him, he was used to being able to do this, to act like this. It got to be a pattern that he's been able to have with his family in a certain way, and then with her, everything had to be his own way. And I feel like he was very hostile to deal with this card. Quick to anger. Got angry, was angry about everything, I feel like. I have to say, I feel like it would be nothing you could do would please him. He was just expectant. And not just with basic expectations, very, very high expectations of her. That he didn't hold himself anywhere at the same level for her. He thinks he does, but I'm getting from her he does not. Ooh, okay. She's saying this is there is going to be a new start of activity here with the Ace of Wands. To me, this is activity of bringing him in and activity of racking up more charges, making this worse for himself, because it becomes more and more involved. So she is acknowledging a physical altercation. And many times this Five of Wands can be fighting because you feel jealous or there's competition in some way. And I think he was jealous of anything that took her attention, that she focused on. That selfish, yes. Just that selfish is what I get. Okay. Let me pull a couple extra cards with that Ace of Wands. Five of Cups, which this deck, the Illusory deck, also puts the word of disappointment. With the Five of Cups, it's a mourning card. It is grieving. It is loss. And a loss can, like of your freedom, of everything, and anything. But it's significant. And loss of life, often. And to me, even, if you go to prison, it's like losing your life because you're losing your freedom. You're gaining a different life, which not everybody copes well. And I do not think that Brian would be one of those people that would handle that kind. He's too soft. He's been catered to. There's no way that prison would be something that would be easy for him. All the more reason why he should go there. And because he's made this worse than it had to be by running. But I also believe that he unleashed a certain violence upon her, and she may have struck him back. But I think that he continued to hit her harder and harder, is what I'm feeling like. Like it became more and more violent. Okay. She's saying, you're not going to be able to manipulate your way out of this. She wants to communicate to him through the Magician her disappointment in him because she trusted him. Wow. I also feel that source here with the Ace of Wands, for her, there's a new energy. She has revitalization. And I feel that she's remaining very active regarding him because she's extremely disappointed in him. She feels like this also, the magician, is existence. Him taking her life, taking her voice. She's showing, I feel like, also him taking apart her creative blogging that she was doing. She's bringing that up. This lack of support, and this was an adventure that she was trying to create as fun, and he's manipulated because of his manipulation, and his lack of willingness to communicate about what actually happened really upsets her. That instead he's running and making this worse, making this harder on her parents especially. That really cheeses her off, to say the least. Yes. And all he did was bring, she's saying, disappointment. He was a downer. And it seems like I'm feeling from her, like he was determined to make this experience as difficult and as disappointing as possible. She's extremely hurt by what he has done, especially the fact that he didn't love her enough more than his fear over his own loss of freedom. That's very clear here. And that she had trusted him. This is the man she thought she was going to marry. She feels foolish. She feels like she's been, as she has been, very manipulated. And she's bringing up his mother, helping him. And she's trying to tell him that she's not really helping you, because you will be caught, and soon. And it will be a whole new life for you. And where it's shown, they're going to take him apart. And take him apart for what I'm getting, never being satisfied, always making her feel basically on edge, because people that do that, if they can get you worked up, then they feel they've won, It's very narcissistic. And if you don't respond to that game, like, well, I don't really care, then you kind of leave them with their own stewing. But, Gabby was young, and she wanted to please him. She was a pleaser. Like I said in my first video about this case, she was a pleaser. But she's extremely also upset with him. The lying, the manipulation, not only by him, but his mother and his father. And she acknowledges that I believe Dog the Bounty Hunter really does wind him up, which means pisses him off. So she's wanting to say, what a disappointment he is, what a manipulator that this was supposed to be fun and he ruined it. I mean, like beyond how you could ruin. It couldn't be any worse. Is what she's saying. You ended. And this Ten of Swords means her involvement with him. She thought it was going to be a new adventure in her life, to get married to him, to have this journey. But he ruined it, literally. He reigned all over it. And I believe the time that she spent with him, it was a very painful cycle and it's ended. I don't feel that there was I just don't think that for long, when she got with him, that he was very nice. He may have been nice initially, but I think he started being difficult and demanding and expectatious. I haven't read anything that a former girlfriend apparently has, like I saw earlier, I said, would come forward. She said something, and I think something to the point of how controlling and unreasonable, basically. He was not right. Okay, Gabby is bringing up the parks and the public, picking up where he should be doing. Okay, I'm getting kind of the sense of the public cares more and is fighting harder for me than you are. And there's more of them than there is of you. She's giving that message too. That, what are you doing? It's foolish. You will be caught. And her complete disappointment in his manipulation and ruining of what was supposed to be a fun adventure, to say the least, his care for her to love her and have cared enough about her to do the right thing. He's failed her on that. And his family has failed her. And she's acknowledging and wanting to say, hey, his mother's doing stuff. She wants to tell on her. And the father as well. The father in the near future looks like possibility they should watch him. Because it's the Emperor, and that's the father-husband card. It's also can be the card of authorities too. So I feel like authorities are going to be getting closer to him. That's also a feeling I'm getting from these cards right from the get-go, that she's saying, it's pretty much futile what you're trying to do. Dog and other enforcement officials are looking for you. And they're going to catch up to you. That's basically what she's saying there, I feel. And really wants to let him have it that, hey, everyone else out there, how come they care more about me than you do? This is temperance. This is a need for moderation. And the Sun. Because he's going to be exposed. They're going to find him. So the message is, they're going to be able to figure out where you are. And GPS, different things like that, those drones that fly overhead that are, like Dog said, that are like thermal. They can pick up a body even if that person is hiding inside of a boat, like in the case of the Boston bombers. This is a similar message. You're going to be found. They're going to find you. They have the equipment, and they will, tinker with it till they find you. And she's saying the truth is going to come out. And she's saying that the truth that he doesn't has been afraid for everyone else to know. That's him acting like Mr. Innocent when the cops come around and all jokey, laughy. Hey, I'm your pal Brian here, like he's befriending them. She's saying, you're exposed for what you are, for who you are. And I think this is refinement with temperance as well. They will have means of being able to refine their search and get you. So this is just digging yourself a deeper hole. This is her, I believe, or quite possibly maybe her mother, but she was a Pisces. Not quite yet, she was 22, I think. Yeah, just at being an adult. So this is interesting. She gives us refinement will expose him with the sun. Moderating their search. They're going to have, it makes me feel like GPS, they're going to be able to pick up some kind of signal or sight, means of tracking him till they find him, just like what Dog was saying. And then she brings up a Queen of Cups and the Moon. Now this could be a place of where he's hiding, and it could be indicative of a body of water or where there's a stream or marsh, maybe even. But I mean, that trail is over 2,000 miles. I do feel like this is indicative of where he's hiding. Something about it with the Queen of Cups. It could be a lake, it could be a well-known river or stream, a source of drinking water, I'm presuming, or water to fish from, perhaps, like a lake, like a source for food. I also feel like Gabby's saying she's going to help. She wants him to know that she's going to help lead them, since he's hiding and he won't come forward like he should have. She's very upset about that. Page of Wands. Yeah, she's indicating there's something electronic. I think it's that radar and them sweeping over it. That she just says, she's going to help them as they use that, the different means of tracking him. She's going to try to influence, because she knows where he's at. And she's giving me, there's fish there. I feel like there are fish there. There's scales and stuff here. So I feel like he's fishing. And it could be a place that he's going to be found at when he's caught. He may not be there yet, because I'm feeling like this guy is definitely trying to keep up abreast of where authorities are, and that determines the route that he's trying to take. Now, he's mentioned California a couple of times. I think he would like to get out here and try and hide, but he's not going to make that. The Empress. She brings up the mother figure now. It's also to me, it's also Mother Nature. And I'm getting a sense of scarcity, or a sense of, that says miser, and it is the Four. So that's usually when you're trying to keep something. And I believe that she's talking about This is his mother keeping him trying to keep him secure from being found. And with the Six of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, which again talks about family, extended family too, helping him. So he's getting help, we're being told by Gabby, by his mother especially. And she doesn't want to let go of him. She's the one getting, I think, finances and goods, things like that to him. But it's also other members of his family. Sister, it's extended here. They need to look, apparently, in at more than just mom and dad. And there's a considerable sum also potentially of money here that he's been given. So if they track her, yes, to independently live, but he's homesick. And the family, there is a sense of heartbreak. But there's betrayal. So she's saying also, you've betrayed me. You know, she had a brilliant future actually ahead of her. She did have that. She had that opportunity, but unfortunately she stuck with Brian. I think she's, realizing just actually how, the fog of Brian isn't there, screwing up what she understands and her perception anymore. And I think what she sees is that she could have been an independent, successful young woman who definitely could have succeeded. She had it, she had that skill, but betrayed. Okay. All right, Gabby, is there anything, let's just, a few more cards. Okay, she's showing the card of happiness and the Hierophant. This is like a teacher or a spiritual helper, mentor. I feel like it's a guide. She's also talking about faith, and she's talking somewhat about religion, potentially, or belief, traditional. But I'm feeling that she's indicating that she is emotionally in a good place despite the situation, and I think that's largely due to, I think, guides, spiritual mentors that are there to assist her, especially emotionally, with that Nine of Cups. And she wants to learn how to be happy. That's another message. To be really emotionally healthy is what I get. She's saying that with Brian, that they made each other worse. But that really the significant part of the problem lies with him. Lies with him. Because he's bound and determined not to be satisfied. That feeling gave him a sense of power in their relationship, to always have Gabby pensive whether or not she was pleasing him. It's the energy that I get. She says, Ace of Cups and the King of Swords. I'm being shown that when he is brought in, as he will be, and I think this is authority with control, King of Swords, law enforcement, FBI. He's going to be an emotional wreck. Blubbering, won't be able to control himself. It's going to start overflowing, overspilling. I don't think he'll be able to stop in some kind of an emotional outburst. But he will be controlled. Yeah, he's going to try to defend himself with that Seven of Wands. But because he feels overburdened, overwhelmed, we're being shown that. He feels like he's the oppressed one. We've got a real martyr on our hands here. But Three of Wands. He's virtue and victory. She's saying that you're going to be caught. You will not win this at all. And the future will unfold and people will know what happened. It will become more clear what your intentions were, everything. This girl's very clear here. It's not a joke. And she's saying this is not you're not going to win this, Brian. You're just not. They're going to capture you. So I do see that I think he will try to put up a defense. I think it just adrenaline. She wants him to turn himself in. She thinks this is, and I agree, it's making it worse. But he is so stuck and not willing to compromise, not willing to do the right thing, that it's going to be worse. So it's just making, this worse. But Justice and the Two of Wands. So there's going to be justice, but this Two of Wands makes me feel that there's maybe a couple of significant charges because of, I think, the violence or some aspect. It definitely shows a relationship where there was a lot of fire. There's not bringing out the best, but I see there's balance. And she's saying there will be balance. You cannot avoid this. You think you can, but you cannot. And he's not going to be able to wiggle his way out. But he's going to be one of those guys that's a real creeper. He's not going to do the right thing. She's saying he's going to learn. And he will be put away. And with that, she can transition, I feel like, or feel, more fully. Because she's not fully, I think she definitely is like in between realms. Because she wants to make sure that he gets found. And thus the message, I'm going to help them look for you. I'm disappointed in you. Your mother helping you. I mean, it all came up here, so that's quite interesting. All right, so that's Gabby's message. Whew. All right, a deep dive for Gabby. I think she's deserved that. If you appreciate this content, please thumbs up, subscribe, and check your notifications. Make sure that they're on. And share. Thank you so much.